Very good morning. So, students, in last class, we have started to discuss our RT 3.2 paper that is based on current electricity. So, up to the certain reason question, that is question number 20, we have discussed in last our previous class and previous video. So, I think you have watched that already. So, let's discuss rest of the paper now. So, here first 21 number question from there we have to discuss now. So, let's discuss one by one these questions. So question number 21 is given. A metal wire is subjected to a constant potential difference. So when the temperature of the metal wire increases, then the drift velocity of electron in it. So as you know, the drift velocity of electron whenever the temperature will increase, that starts to decrease because resistance start to increase in the metal. So whenever resistance start to increase, then that time due to the increment in resistance, the electron that is drifting in a particular direction, that will be disturbed. So due to disturbance it will start to decrease. And now if thermal velocity of the electrons, that you will see, so its thermal velocity, it means the agitation that the electrons get from the thermal energy. So as the temperature is increasing, the thermal energy will increase, and that thermal energy, as you know, that is directly proportional to the kinetic energy. So that will increase the kinetic energy of electrons. So it means that the kinetic energy or the thermal velocity due to that type of thermal energy, that will start to increase. That's why kinetic energy start to increase. So here option B, you can see, that is completely correct for this one. Now question number 22, if you will see, that is the electric field intensity capital E, current density J, and specific resistance K are related to each other through the equation. So as you know, this is also another form of Ohm's law. So here you can see this equation number second, that is the correct here, that is just relating these one, as you have understood already. J is equal to sigma E. So in this question, I think, as it was before also, so like AB is equal to C, that question we have discussed in the last class. This is just like the same question. This is sigma and this is E. So we can write J into 1 by sigma. 1 by sigma is what? That is specific resistance or resistivity. So you can here it is denoted by K, so you can write K, this is equal to E. So you can see this equation is completely correct by this explanation. So our option second is correct for this question. Now the third 23 number question is the relaxation time in conductors. So first increases with increase in temperature, decreases with increase in temperature. It does not depend on temperature. All of sudden changes at 400 Kelvin. So as you know, relaxation time, that is inversely proportional to resistivity, and resistivity is directly proportional to temperature. So whenever temperature will increase, then due to increase in temperature, resistivity will increase, and if resistivity is increasing, then relaxation time will decrease. So it means our option B will again correct for this question. Now let's see the 24 number question. So question number 24, you can see on screen, that is we are able to obtain fairly large current in a conductor because, now options you have to read very carefully. So here it is asking the reason for the large current in conductor first. The electron drift speed is usually very large. So this is not the reason behind the large current, okay, that the electron drifting is very large. Second one, the number density of free electrons is very high, and this can compensate for the low values of electron drift speed and the very small magnitude of electron charge. Now this option is completely correct, student, because in conductor we are classifying it based on electron density. So as number density means electron per unit volume, or free electron per unit volume, that is very large, and due to this large number density, we are getting very low value of electron drift speed. So the drifting speed you are seeing, that is very low, and also the magnitude of charge, magnitude of one electron, you know, that is of the order of 10 power minus 19, that is very small. And even for all these one, as number density is very large, for that one we are obtaining a large current in conductor. So this is very fair reason for the this statement that is given, or the conduction that we are observing in conductor. Other all options are not correct here. Now 25 number question you will see, that is, in conductor, when straight line when electrons move between two collision, so their paths are, so when in conductor you will see whenever two electrons that is drifting, then in drifting they always follow straight line. So it means that first option should be straight line here for their collision. Now means between two successive collision the electrons path is always straight line up to when they are not colliding, they are not changing their velocity because they are drifting to a certain direction. When external field is absent, here it is given already. Now option B, uh, here it is we have to find out when external field is present. So whenever in electric field the charge starts to move, then due to electric field its path start to change, it starts to move on a parabolic path, on a curved path. So it means for the second one, when external field is present we will see the curved lines. So here if you can see, this option is perfectly correct for our explanation. For whenever electric field is absent, that is straight line, but whenever field is present, it start to move in the curved lines. Now next 26 number question you can see, that is the example of non-ohmic resistances. So non-ohmic resistors are those which are not obeying Ohm's law. So copper wire, as you know, copper is metal. Conductors are good. You can say fully obeying Ohm's law. So this is not the option first, as this is obeying Ohm's law. This is ohmic resistance. Filament lamp. So filament lamp is also made up of a large of conducting materials. So again it is also ohmic conductor or ohmic resistance. Carbon resistors. So carbon resistors are made up of graphite, tungsten. They are also for obeying Ohm's law because it is made up on the principle of Ohm's law. So this is not also the option. Means all these three options are not correct. So it means the correct option for this one is none of these. Now 27 number question you will see, that is uh, strip of copper and another of the germanium are cooled from room temperature to 80 Kelvin. So the resistance of first option is each of these increases, second is each of decreases, third is copper strip increases, that of germanium decreases, fourth is copper strip decreases, that of germanium increases. So as first of all you have to classify these material, you have to distinguish them. Here copper, if you will see, this is conducting material, wherever germanium is semiconductor material. So as conducting material, the resistance of conductor increases with increase in temperature. It means that will decrease with decrease in temperature. So for copper strip, the resistance will decrease. So you can see first of all this option and this option both are following in this category. Now for the germanium, let's see. For semiconductor, whenever temperature start to decrease, their resistance start to first increase. So it means that that of germanium increases. So our option D is completely correct for this question. Now 28 number question, if you see, that is the nichromate magnet is widely used in wire bound standard resistors because of their, so nichrome and magnet, they have very special property. So that property, that is their temperature coefficient, that is very small. So it means that whenever temperature will vary, their resistance will not vary. So that's why they are used to construct the standard resistor. We are using them, their alloys in meter base, we are using them in potentiometer. This is the reason behind that. So that's why you can see the option B for this, very peak temperature dependent resistivity. This is their very special property, that due to that one we are using them to construct wires. Now the next question, 29 number question, you will see, that is the resistance of the coil of an emitter is R. So the shunt required to increase its range and fold should have the resistance. So as you know, if we have to increase the range of the ammeter, then the resistance should be low there. So it means that first of all, already we have a resistance that ammeter that has resistance, and we have to increase it n fold. So it means that n minus 1 here number of shunt that we will needed here in parallel to just construct the ammeter. So you know, in the construction of ammeter we are using a shunt in parallel to the any of the galvanometer or any of the resistors. So the shunt is here connected in parallel for the ammeter. So if you will calculate the equivalent resistance of all these parallel, so that way suppose the equivalent resistance is r dash for n fold. So it means that this 1 by r for the first ammeter, for the second ammeter, and so on, n minus 1 ammeters we have, shunt we have, that are needed to increase the range to the n fold, because already our resistance the ammeter has. So we know we need only n minus 1 shunt here to connect in parallel. So it means 1 by r dash that will be equal to n minus 1 upon r, or r dash if you will calculate, this is r upon n minus 1. So this option you will see that is now correct. So you can see the second option is correct for this question. Now let's see the next question. So next question, 13 number question is, under what condition will the strength of current in a wire of resistance R will be same for connections in series and in parallel of n identical cells, each of the internal resistance small r. So here if it is given we have n identical cells, we are connecting them in parallel and we are connecting them in series. Then when if internal resistance of the identical cells are also same, then when the resistance will be same. So resistance will be same in the case of series whenever this resistance is tend to infinity now. So for this option, if you will understand it now, if r tends to infinity, then that time the in the series already resistance of n identical cells that are connected in series, that will be already infinite. And second one, it is given in the parallel if they are connecting. So for the parallel connection, whenever r tends to their internal resistance tends to 0, then due to the internal resistance 0, the overall resistance that will tend to infinite. So it means that the in this condition only we will get the resistance in or strength of the wire, that in the you can say strength of current in any of the wire that will be same whenever this condition we will obtain. You can also understand it now. Suppose we have a number of cells that are connected in series, then that time we can write down the, here what will be the value of total resistance here. So one of the resistor is also connected or the wire through this these are connected is capital R. So it means that total resistance will be equal to n times small r plus capital R, because n r what will, every identical cell has resistance small r. So n number of identical cells are connected in series, total resistance will be r plus r, this is n times, so total will be nr, and r is connected in series, so this will be nr plus r now. So current will be what? Current will be EMF, suppose E is the EMF upon nr plus small r here. So in this case, if this r tend to infinite, so if r tend to infinite, then it means that here I you can calculate that tend to 0 now. So next one, after the second one, parallel combination, you will see if n identical cells are connected in parallel, then that time their resistance can be found out by 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2, that is n times. So that will be n by r, or in another word their equivalent resistance is n by r. And now that resistance that is connected in series, that is N by R plus R. So current can be calculated by epsilon 0 by R, that's it current. So in this case is R tends to 0, then R tends to 0, then this whole one will tends to infinite. So it means that I is equal to now E by infinite, so that means I tends to again 0. So in previous case also we have seen this denominator was infinite, and in this case also whenever R tends to 0 this case is obtained, then it is tending to infinite for this one. So that's why only this condition is possible for the current to be same in both of the cases. So this is I think now correct, clear to you. Now 31 number question you will see, this is a cell of internal resistance small r that is connected to an external resistance capital R. So the current will be maximum in R if any of the cell that is connected to an external resistance R, we have to find out the current. So current will be equal to, just now you have discussed, that is here in this case it is E upon R plus small r. So current that will be maximum in R. So it will be maximum in R whenever R will become equal to small r, because for all this case if this R you can see that is equal less than R, then that time obviously this will become greater, so denominator will be greater, current will be smaller. For this case also denominator will be greater and this will be smaller. If R is equal to R by 2, then that time also this denominator will be greater, then that time also current will be smaller. But for this case only, if you will find out the current by this equation, that is maximum value. So it means only this option is correct to obtain the maximum value of current here. Now the next question, in meter bridge or Wheatstone bridge, for measurement of resistance the known and unknown resistance are interchanged, so the error so removed is. So in meter bridge experiments, students, whenever we are connecting here this resistance and unknown resistance, standard resistor and unknown resistor, to between two copper strips, two ports, and taking one time reading, we are interchanging their position. So we are interchanging them to just remove the errors occur to the end positions. So it means end correction, this error we are removed by interchanging them. So this is our correct option. Now 33 number question you will see, that is, in potentiometer a balance point is obtained when. So in potentiometer, you know, valence point can be obtained only for a condition whenever potential difference of wire between positive and end of the battery of the jockey becomes equal to the EMF of the experimental cell. Means whenever the current in the circuit becomes 0, that time we are getting the galvanometer deflection 0. So as you have done experiments in laboratory already on the potentiometer, so while detecting the null point or balance point, you are detecting a condition whenever in galvanometer the detection comes to be, or the deflection in galvanometer becomes 0. So it means that no current is passing through at that time. So whenever current becomes 0, it means that time the terminal potential and EMF of the experimental cell that becomes equal. So we are just observing for this condition. So second option is correct here. Now the next question is, sensitivity of potentiometer can be increased by. So sensitivity of potentiometer, that is obviously, you know, potentiometer is depending on the principle of potential gradient. So it means V by L. So whenever L will increase, then that time the potential gradient, that is means the sensitivity of device that will increase. So with increase the length of the potentiometer, we can increase the sensitivity now. Now next question, students, after this is case study based question. So number of case studies also I have given you in question paper, so that will also help you to prepare your term 1 examination. So first case study, that is based on Joule heating. So Joule heating, here first you can just read the case is. So case is, whenever an electric current is passed through a conductor, it becomes hot after some time. So the phenomena of the production of heat is in the resistor by the flow of an electric current through it is called heating effect of the current or Joule heating. So thus the electrical energy supplied by the source of EMF is converted into heat here. So this line you have to also keep in your mind. Now in purely resistive circuit, the energy expended by the source entirely appears as heat. But if the circuit has an active element like a motor, a part of energy supplied to the source goes to useful work and rest of the part appears as a heat. So Joule's law of heating forms the basis of various electrical appliances like electric bulb, furnace, electric press, etc. So this is now the brief about the case. Here it is including all the things that is relating to Joule's heating effect. Now let's see the question based on this case. Question 1 is a rigid container with thermally insulated wall contains a coil of resistance 100 ohm carrying 1 ampere. So the change in its internal energy after 5 minutes will be. So as you know, the change in internal energy, that is equal to the heat produced by it, that is equal to I square RT. So this heat, if you will calculate, that will be the change in its internal energy. So this is now current is given 1, so its square will be 1. R is 100 ohm, time is given 5 minutes, so let's change it into second. So 5 into 60 it will be. So if you will solve, this is equal to 30 kilojoule. So this is answer for our question. This will be the change in internal energy after 5 minutes. Now the second question, 36 number question. This is an energy saver light bulb that uses 11 joule of electrical energy gives the same amount of light as an ordinary bulb that uses. So in this question, if it is given that a bulb that is uses the same amount of electric bulb that the ordinary bulb gives that uses. So energy saver light bulb, if you will see, the powers of both are now same. In this question, energy saver light bulb that are just giving the same amount of light as ordinary bulb that is using for the 60 joule of the. So this is a standard value that we have designed for the energy saver bulb. So this option is correct for this one. This is obtained from the data that we have. Now here next question you can see, student, that is the process during which the charge continuously move from higher potential to a lower potential becomes a continuous source of. So here as the higher charge is continuously that is moving from higher to lower potential, that time the process that is of electrical energy, so they are carrying that time electrical energy whenever they are moving. So in this case they are not carrying even the light energy, they are not carrying heat energy, they are not carrying any chemical energy, they are carrying only electrical energy. Now the last question for this case, you can see, that is question number 38. This is, which of the following is not a correct statement? First is resistivity of electrolyte decreases on increasing temperature. Now the second one, the resistance of mercury falls on decreasing its temperature. First let's discuss these two options. The first option, as resistivity of electrolyte, you can see electrolytes that are also behaving like the conductor there, it means their resistivity will here increase with increase in temperature. So in this it means that here option A is wrong. Option B, uh, I think sorry for that one. So student, option A is correct, not wrong. Actually resistivity of electrolyte that is decreases with increasing temperature. So whenever temperature is increased, then first of all the conductivity of the electrolytes that is start to decrease, because with increase in temperature they will get more extra energy, and due to that one the electrolysis process that will increased, and due to increase in electrolysis process conduction increases there, and means ionization increases, and due to that resistivity decreases. So this option is correct. The second option, resistance of the mercury falls on decreasing its temperature. So as whenever the temperature is decreased, the resistance of mercury that is falls, because it is behaving like the conducting material. Now the third one, it is also correct statement, exactly B is. Third is, when joined in series, a 40 watt bulb glow more than 60 watt bulb. So if two of the bulb that are joined in series, then that time in series combination, the power of the bulb, you can see current will be same. So it means that power will depend on the resistance here, and also the resistance of both of the factor, means their addition, that will increase also. So that in the series, as resistance is increasing, then due to increment in resistance, the power will increase here. So it means that you can see the 40-watt bulb that will glow more, because of the 40-watt bulb has less resistance in comparison to the 60-watt bulb. Greater will be the power, greater here, uh, less will be the resistance. But whenever the resistance is changing in series, then that time greater will be the resistance of 60-watt bulb in comparison to the 40-watt. So it means 40-watt bulb will glow more than that one. So option C is also correct for this one. Now here it is, next one is given, the resistance of 40-watt bulb is less than the resistance of 60-watt bulb. So this option, you can see, that is incorrect. Greater is the power, less will be the here resistance. So it means that 60-watt bulb will have less resistance normally than the 40-watt. It will change whenever it will see joined in series. So option C is, that's why correct, but it is incorrect. So here the option D is correct option, because we had to find out which of the following is not a correct statement. So option D is not correct statement. So students, I think whatever we have discussed today up to now, this case study, that is all clear. So let's end our class here with this question. So thank you students for today.